at home. There's Gay. Boy, what a shot in the arm he has given the Tigers coming up from Toledo. Home run, a couple game-winning RBIs, and the big hit last night was that hard line drive over the left fielder in the 11th inning to win the ball game.
Well, Mr. Brian Moehler about ready to go to work. Incidentally, Hernandez was scratched. He was in the original lineup for the Cubs, but he was scratched as the third baseman because of stiffness in the right side of the neck, and that's why Manny Alexander is at third base. The father's initials go on the mound from Mr. Brian Moehler in tribute to his late dad. He dedicates his performances to him. The Cubs have lost their last 4 games. They're trying to get out of a spin. They've dropped 11 of 15. And here is Brant Brown, the leadoff man, taking a ball outside. "94 degrees is the number here at game time.
Just the way we like it.
Yes, sirree. It'll keep us loose. Ball 2, the count on the leadoff man.
And wet.
There's a drive to center. Hunter there. Reaches. Makes the catch. That one took off a little bit, Al.
It did. That's a line drive, and the wind don't help those kind. That ball was just hit a little harder than Brian anticipated, able to make the play. But this ball was hit very hard on the line, not quite directly over his head. When you hit the ball this low, the wind doesn't affect it. He just hit it harder than Brian thought. He coasted over there, then all of a sudden has to take a few steps back.
Here's Mickey Marandini, the veteran second baseman, looking at ball 1 from Moehler. That's the wide one, and they count 2-0.
He's pretty much a straightaway hitter. You like to keep the ball away and play him away, showing more power this year than he has in the past.
There's a drive to left center on the run. Gonzalez, he grabs it, and they're 2 up and 2 down, and we wait for Mr. Sammy Sosa. Sammy has tied the home run record for most home runs in 1 month, set by the former Tiger Rudy York, 18. He has 31 home runs to his credit, and is giving Mark McGwire pretty good chase in that home run derby.
He really has become a complete player. When he was a youngster with the Chicago White Sox, he could no way hit a breaking ball, but he has made adjustments. He's gotten much bigger, much stronger. He's standing a little further away from the plate than he has in previous years, and hitting the ball more straight away. And that's why his batting average is well over the 300 mark. Plus, he's getting the ball up in the air in that small ballpark at Wrigley Field.
So you see, he's number 2 on the National League leaders among the home run hitters. Sosa looking, and that one is ruled a ball. This is the 3rd straight batter that Moehler has started out 2-0. He got the first 2 on fly balls to the outfield. Here's a ball wide. That Rudy York record has been maintained for a long time, since 1937. And it's been tied now by Sammy, and he's got a few games to go. Ground ball hit on the right side. That's easily. Flip over to Clark. They go 1, 2, 3. At the end of a half inning, the game is scoreless.
Okay, we'll get right into the starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off, Brian Hunter in center field. Batting second at second base, Damian Easley. Batting third, the big man, Bobby Higginson in right field. Batting fourth at first base, Tony Clark. The 5th batter, left fielder, Luis Gonzalez. Batting sixth, just got here today, Geronimo Baroja, the DH. Batting 7th at third base, the red-hot rookie, Gabe Alvarez. And the 8th batter, the catcher, Joe Oliver. Batting 9th, shortstop, Davey Cruz. And they'll be facing Kerry Wood, the hard-throwing, just turned 21, on June the 16th. Boy, look at he has just been amazing. 7-3. Look at the strikeouts, 118 and only 79 in the third innings. Hard throwing, has a good breaking ball. I watched the game on TV, the game that he struck out 20. He was just outstanding.
One of the amazing performances of baseball history. And he delivers in too close on Brian Hunter, who's leading off for the Tigers. Wood is 6'5" and weighs 225 pounds. He just celebrated his 21st birthday a few days ago. Just out of high school from Texas. In close. 3-0. The Cubs telling me that what's so remarkable about this guy, Al, he's got such an easy motion and the ball gets up there at 95 or 100 miles per hour.
I think that's what surprises the hitters more than the raw speed. You know, hitters can hit the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but he has such an easy motion that the ball gets up on you a little quicker than you think.
3-1 the count now on Hunter. And he walked in. Well, that is one of the weaknesses that Wood has shown. Sometimes he has streaks of wildness.
Okay, let's get into the defense for the Cubbies. Valdez, Brown, and Sosa in the outfield. Alexander, Blauser, Marandini, Grace, and Houston behind the plate. Of course, Wood is on the base. We just had word that Mark McGwire hit a home run his first time at bat over in Cleveland.
Wow.
I wonder if it hits the scoreboard like the one he hit last year.
Here's Damian Easley.
Oh.
He got back. It was close.
He got picked off last night in a very critical time last night. You see, he was getting ready to go. He's leaning towards second base.
Damian had 3 for 6 in the Tiger victory last night. No score in the last half of the first inning. Still testing the rookie's move to first base. Hunter gets back safely.
Well, this is what they want to do. They want to try to get him to think about something else than throwing the ball where he wants to.
Easley at bat. Man at first base is Hunter. Nobody down. First inning. He's going, and it's a high one. Throw to second. He slides. He's out. Houston cut him down. Hunter out trying to steal.
Well, this ball gets to home plate in a hurry. He gets a pretty good jump. But Houston, who is not their best defensive catcher, and a very good throw. Quick tag.
And Easley looking. That's an even count now. Damian at 1-1. So Hunter walks and is cut down stealing. Houston to Blauser, the shortstop who covered. Fouled away. When Kerry Wood struck out those 20 batters, he was only 20 years old. And he became the second pitcher in Major League history to strike out as many batters as his age. The other one was Bob Feller. He struck out 17 A's when he was 17 years old. There's a bounding ball to third. That's Alexander over to first to Grace, and there are 2 down.
Boy, take a look at that ball. Is that the dirtiest ball you've ever seen? It looks like it's yellow. Even Manny Alexander looked at it. He said, what kind of ball am I throwing here? That is the worst looking ball I've ever seen. I think I played with better than that in high school. I don't know how the hitters can see it.
Maybe they rubbed it up with ink instead of mud. Here's Bobby Higginson had that big 9th inning home run to send the game into extra innings, and the Tigers won it last night. And Higgy looks inside, ball 1. It's a strike call to 1-1. Ground ball hit foul. Comparing Wood with Bob Feller, he is older, and when Bob first began to pitch in the major leagues, he was on vacation from high school. And when he graduated from high school, NBC, the big network, covered his graduation service. He was such a celebrity by that time. 2-2 the count on Higgy. Tony Clark waiting his hitting turn. No score, first inning. Full count on him. Struck him out, and they side out in order despite the leadoff walk. At the end of one, the game scoreless.
You're watching the Detroit Tigers on UPN 50.
Mark Saturday night on your calendar for a special rebroadcast of the Stanley Celebration only on UPN 50. We've had so many calls and emails from people wanting to see this extra special show one more time, and we've decided to televise it again. Saturday night, watch Eiserman, Osgood, Fedorov, Shanahan, Scotty Bowman, and all the others celebrate the Stanley Cup Championship for the second year in a row. A Stanley Celebration Saturday night, 7:30, exclusively on UPN 50. As always, your home for Red Wing hockey. Mark Grace to lead off, the fine Cub third baseman, first baseman, hitting .337, and he takes a high one. Talking to Mark before the game, he says he's thrilled to play in this ballpark. He really appreciates the history of it. There's a strike call to count even 1-1.
Well, he's just been an outstanding hitter and having another great year.
Strike two. The plate umpire is Barney Foster, who is filling in for Don Denkinger, who's on vacation. Marty is the International League umpire, but he's had a lot of American League games this year already. There's a little pop fly. It'll be out of play. In the dirt on the Mark Grace. He's a better than 300 lifetime hitter. Start of the year hitting .310. That's an all-time high for a left-handed batter with the Cubs. Lifetime. Got him. Moehler fools him, and it's the first strikeout for Mo.
Well, here's an excellent changeup, a circle change. You can see him turn it up. Look at the movement on the ball. And Mark, who is an excellent hitter, a good contact hitter, is completely fooled. He's way out on his front foot. Excellent pitch by Bryant.
That'll be Henry Rodriguez, who really found himself up in Montreal and then came to the Cubs. He had started out with the Dodgers a good many years ago, was traded to Montreal. Strike one, the count on Henry. There's a high one. It is deep, and it is long, and it is long gone. The game's first run, Rodriguez. It's a long home run to right. 1-0 Chicago.
Well, this ball hit way up there in right field. Number 17 for Henry, who has been in a terrible slump. He hit a home run last night to left field. This time he gets the head of the bat out and gets it up in that wind. It would have made it no matter wind or not, but watch where this ball goes. Low fastball. Looked like it might have had the inner part of the plate. And it hits on top of the roof.
1-0 Chicago. Here's Valdez at bat. Pedro Valdez, the left fielder. And the count 2-0 on him. The Cubs just brought him up from Iowa the 21st of June. Hit 15 home runs there. There's a ball low to win 3-0, the count on Valdez.
And he's looking for his first hit this year in the big leagues.
1-0 Chicago on the Rodriguez home run. Here's a strike call. Larry Bally and family here. They left Indonesia. They're home and here in Michigan for a little vacation. And they always come out to see the Tigers. He walked him. That will be the first walk off Mr. Moehler. A man on, a man out, 1 run in. Chicago leads 1-0. And here's the former Atlanta Brave Jeff Blauser coming to bat. Blauser batting .241. Last year he ended with a .308 average, leading all the National League shortstops in that department. He looks at a strike.
He's had a lot of injury problems the last couple of years. The Atlanta Braves decided to go out and get Walt Weiss, who was a free agent, and made Blauser expendable.
And the Cubs signed Blauser as a free agent. Man on and the man out. Time called at the plate. Good to see Joe Gehringer here tonight. The widow of the great Tiger Hall of Fame second baseman. Runner goes. Pitch out. Here's a throw by Oliver. And easily puts the tag on the Valdez for the out.
Well, somebody guessed right over on the bench. They called for a pitch out. Worked out just perfectly here. A pitch out, and you see there a perfect throw down to second. He's waiting for him, and easy out.
1-0 Chicago. Blauser waiting. And Moehler gets strike 2 on him. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the infielder. Blauser was the Braves' #1 draft choice when they first started with him back in June of '84. That's the wide one, 2-2. He stood there like the husp of the side of the road and watched it go by. Struck him out at the end of an inning and a half. Cubs 1, Tigers nothing.
Hey, baby,
Get Sacked with Frazier and Company every weeknight at 7. It's America's favorite comedy series, the Emmy Award-winning Frazier. Weeknights at 7, only on UPN 50, your 10 o'clock news station. Home run by Henry Rodriguez, putting the visiting Cubs up in front 1-0. The Tigers bat in the second inning. They had a walk to Hunter. He was out trying to steal. The next 2 were retired by the big right-hander from Texas. And it'll be Tony Clark to lead off against Kerry Wood here in the second inning. Something about these Texas guys that they throw hard. Clemens and Ryan and this guy.
He's a pup right out of those guys. 6'5".
He follows the pattern. Tony hits a high foul out of play. Back to the left field side.
I tell you, when you hit somebody like Kerry Wood, you can't muscle up. You just have to be quick. The ball, if you hit it solidly, it will go. But if you muscle up and try to swing hard, you're going to swing late and you're going to swing underneath of the ball.
He fouls this one away. 2 quick strikes on Tony Clark. It's a wide one. He lays off this pitch in the count 1-2. There's a drive to the right, and it's off the wall. Tony Holmes with a long single to right.
The ball was hit so hard he couldn't make a double out of it. It looked like it might carry over the fence, but the ball sunk right at the end, and Sosa was able to get there in a hurry. This ball is a breaking ball, off-speed pitches sometime. He's able to pull it. It looked like it might carry right out of the ballpark, and then as it got out there, it sunk, hit the top of the fence, and came directly back to Sammy Sosa, the right fielder.
Luis Gonzalez, who once played for the Cubs, will be the batter. Gonzo, the Tiger left fielder, moved his average up to 310. That's Kerry Wood on the mound from Irving, Texas. It's a high one.
Well, here's last night home run by Gonzo. Got a good pitch down low, where he likes it. Got it up in the wind and up in the upper deck.
There's a fly ball to left center. Brown, the center fielder, getting over and hauls it in for the out. 1 on, 1 out for the new Tiger, Geronimo Barroa. Well, you've seen this guy. He's got a lot of power, Al.
He does, and he's a pretty good fastball hitter. He has a very unorthodox batting style, but he has been a very effective hitter the last 3-4 years after finally getting a chance to come here from to the big leagues.
With Cleveland this year, and the Cleveland Indians traded him, he had played in only 20 games because he had a bad foot. And here's the way the trade was negotiated. Tim Worrell to Cleveland with Dave Roberts, and minor league outfielder, and Barroa to Detroit. One and one, the count on Geronimo from the Dominican Republic. Got his start with Toronto. He's been with 9 major league organizations. This makes number 10. In too close on him. Last year at Baltimore, he had 26 home runs. And he had already hit 16 at Oakland before he came over to the Birds. So he put together a pretty good year there.
You have to pull for somebody like this. I think he spent 10 years in the minor leagues.
There's a high pop foul. It'll be out of play. Got a few cups of coffee along the way, but you're right. He was.
Yeah, he played with Cincinnati.
13 games. Florida 14. Stayed a little while with Oakland after he finally got up.
He's perfect for the DH role. He's not a very good outfielder, but he swings a pretty good bat.
1 on, 1 out. Tigers trail 1-0. And Barroa takes one high and wide, and the count goes full on him. Struck him out. That's the second strikeout recorded by young Mr. Wood.
Well, he's a free swinger. We know that. And he knows he has to get ready for that fastball, and there's one well out of the strike zone. You have to gear it up a little bit quicker when you're facing somebody who's throwing 95.
Now we've got a couple of headliners facing each other. Kerry Wood against the Tiger rookies, had such a great start. Gabe Alvarez. Gabe takes a high hard one, ball 1.
But Gabe comes to the Tigers with a very live bat, and it's something, you know, a lot of guys are bigger and stronger than him, but when he hits the ball, it jumps over the infield. That's what we call a live bat. Ball jumps off his bat.
Got the winning hit in the game last night, the Tiger victory. He's had 2 home runs. 1-1 the count on him. That'll be a pop foul back into the upper deck. Man from Bay City will take that one home. Al, did you get to see your old pal Phil Regan, the pitching coach?
I did talk to him for quite a while. Billy Williams, my good friend that we see a lot of, not only at Cooperstown but at other events throughout the winter months.
In tight 2-2. Phil Regan looked at me and he said they finally put my number 16 up there on right field.
He told me the same thing. He says, but he don't see his name up there with the rest of us, you know. But he sees his number up there. Yeah, he was commonly called the Vulture, nicknamed by, I'm sure, Hanky Gary or a couple of those guys.
He got him swinging on a breaking ball, and the Tigers are out at the end of 2. The Cubs lead them 1-0.
This is your home for Tiger baseball, UPN 50.
Tonight on the news, immediately after the ball game, we're going to take a look at the bacteria levels in public pools around town. Is it safe for your kids to be swimming in those pools? And also we're going to check on fire hydrant pressure with these hot days we've been having. What if there's a fire in your neighborhood? Do they have enough pressure in the hydrant to put the thing out? And as far as Kerry Wood goes, he looks pretty cool tonight. He should. He's from Irving, Texas. He's used to the heat because, man, it's hot out here tonight, Alan Ernie.
Well, the Cubs are coming to bat now with a 1-0 lead going into the 3rd inning here at the corner. Tyler Houston, the catcher that's just come off the disabled list. It's a sharp ground ball grabbed by Easley. Throw to first. Got him. Good play on the first pitch.
Leading fielding second baseman in the American League. You talk a lot about his hitting, but he is an excellent second baseman. Makes a fine play on a sharp hit ball to his right.
Manny Alexander hitting number 9 and playing third base. He was a last-minute replacement for Hernandez, who came up with a stiff neck. There's a strike called. Manny 0 for the last 7. Another product of the Dominican Republic. And he takes one in close.
Also played for the Orioles a while. Never could get in the lineup because Cal Ripken Jr. was the shortstop at that time.
There's a high foul out of play.
Cal Ripken, a little controversy in Baltimore. A couple of the writers are saying that he should sit down and take a few days off. And that's unusual for the writers to say anything bad about Cal Ripken.
Certainly is. 1-0 Cubs in the lead. Alexander hits a short fly to right. There's Higginson near the line fighting the sunshine and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down in the Cub third. Their run came on a home run by Henry Rodriguez in the 2nd inning. Now they go back to the top of the batting order. They center fielder Brant Brown, young Californian who has come up through the Cub system. And it's a strike. There's a foul out of play. The third base coach for the Cubs, Tom.
Well, here's the hitting zone. He's a spray hitter, although he does have some power. He likes the ball in the middle of the plate, out. Doesn't like it hard in, low, and naturally away.
Strike two, the count on him. Missed that far corner. Hard one. Hopper knocked down by Easley. Throw to first. He got him. The Cubs go 1-2-3. Tigers bat in the third. Chicago leads it 1-0.
Okay, here's the game summary brought to you by the Metro Ford dealers. Rodriguez hits his 100th career home run in the second. Clark, Tigers only hit Wood 3 Ks in 2 innings. And here's the home run by Henry Rodriguez. A fastball down in the middle of the plate, got it up in the wind, and hit the roof in right center field.
And the Tigers trail in this one 1-0 with Joe Oliver to lead it off against the pitching sensation Kerry Wood. Chicago's had some great pitchers throughout their history. And back in the early years of 1908, they had the only pitcher who has thrown 2 shutouts in one day. Ed Rulbach. He beat Brooklyn 5-0 and 3-0 in a doubleheader. Some guys have won 2 games, and not very often, but only one guy has shut them out twice.
I remember Wilbur Wood once pitched a doubleheader for the White Sox, a knuckleballer.
Don Newcomb did it in his Brooklyn days and didn't win both games, though. And here's Oliver batting .244. Joe looking at ball 1 from the hard-throwing right-hander. One nothing Cubs. There's a strike. He got the outside corner. Down to the bottom part of the Tiger batting order. Davy Cruz, the number 9 hitter, will hit next. Thrown a few more breaking pitches than I expected, Al.
Well, when you throw that hard, any kind of a breaking pitch is going to give the hitters a lot of trouble, particularly right-handers, because you have to be geared up so quick to get it out in front of his fastball.
And there's another strikeout. The last 3 Tigers have gone down on strikes, and a total of 4 in 2 1/3 innings.
Well, here's the breaking ball. He doesn't have a real sharp breaking ball. This is in a great location, takes a lot off of it. And of course, when you combine that with a 95, 97 mile-an-hour fastball, that's very effective.
Kerry Wood ready to face Davy Cruz, a .272 hitter. He pops this one foul back out of play. Ground ball hit toward the middle. Marandini over to Grace, and there are 2 down for the Tigers to go back to the top of the batting order. Brian Hunter. I want to send get well greetings to Walter Hall in the Oakland General Hospital. He's been in since the 1st of June. He's a great Tiger fan. We appreciate his loyalty over the years. Here comes Hunter. He drew a walk in the first inning and then was cut down trying to steal. The only other Tiger runner in the early going is Tony Clark. He had a leadoff single in the second and was left at first. Strike 1. Wind blowing out toward right. Still a lot of daylight left here at the corner. 2 quick strikes from the big right-hander.
Well, I don't think Brian Hunter is looking for a breaking ball. He just either not seeing the fastball, because I don't think you go up to the plate looking for a breaking ball off somebody throwing this hard.
In close for this one, 1-2 the count on Brian. There's a foul out of play. Well, Aaron sent us an email, wanted to say happy birthday to Grandpa Zarnicki on number 75. We'll do that. There's a ground ball hit the second. Marandini over to Grace, and it's 1-2-3 for the Tigers in the third. At the end of 3, Cubs 1, Detroit nothing.
This is UPN 50, the home of Tiger baseball.
Well, be here Sunday to get your free Louisville Slugger bat. The first 5,000 fans 14 and under. That'll be at the Tiger Cincinnati Red game at 1:05. And you'll receive a free Louisville Slugger bat. For tickets, visit the Tiger Stadium box office, any Ticketmaster location, including Hudson's and Harmony House, or call 248-25-TIGER. Right now, the TIGERs are behind the CUBSs. 1-0 Chicago in the fourth. Here's Mickey Marandini. And it's ball 1 on the second cycle. Well, Mr. Riggleman not too happy about his team's performance last night. He had one of those special meetings. There's a fly hit to left. Gonzalez is there. And it's an easy first out. There's Mr. Riggleman in his 4th year as the skipper of the Cubs.
And there's Bill Freehan sitting there watching the ball game. You know, I would think, other than pitching, if Buddy Bell had one player from the 68 ball club, I think he would like to have Bill Freehan.
Yep. He's a solid performer and certainly a great guy to have on your team. Well, here's Sammy Sosa. Bounced to second the first time. He had a 3-0 pitch on a ground ball to second.
And here's his home run from last night, a hanging breaking ball, the first breaking ball, curveball that Seth threw last night, got up in the wind, just got about 4 or 5 rows back.
31 home runs for Sammy. Well, he didn't hold up on that one. Pretty good 30 days for Mr. Sammy Sosa. One you just saw, it was the record home run. Two and one. Rudy York, who hit those 18 in August, was called a part Indian and part first baseman by Tom Meany. He was an Indian extraction, and they couldn't find a position for old Rudy. There's a fly ball hit into right center, not deep. Picked off by Hunter, and there are 2 down. Now, Rudy York was the first guy I ever interviewed who wouldn't go on because he had an agent and had to go through him back in 1940.
Wow.
After he had been one of the World Series heroes. Went to a banquet up in Cartersville, Georgia, and I was the MC. I was doing a radio show. He said, nope, I can't go on. Got to talk to my agent.
Oh, man, I didn't realize way back then.
Yep. Here is Mark Grace, and he takes a strike.
Boy, would he have been perfect for the DH today?
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
He might have been the best ever for a DH. He couldn't play any place, as you mentioned.
They tried to make a catcher out of him, and they tried to make a first baseman out of him. Strike 2 the count. Grace struck out the first time. Cubs got their only run on a home run by Henry Rodriguez. That came with 1 out in the second inning. So this one developing as a pitching duel between Moehler and Wood. Fouled away down below. Well, it was the Cubs who played in the game where most runs were scored in baseball history. The Cubs beat the Phillies 26-23. Back in 1922, 26-23. 49 runs. It's a wide one, low and away on Mark.
Did they keep earned run averages back in those days?
Well, they didn't do it officially. They had to go back and check them up later on. They didn't start keeping them until after that time. There's a line foul out of play down toward the Tiger bullpen. Most times, though, Al, you remember from the 20s on up to about the mid-30s, there were a lot of 300 hitters. And the 300 wasn't the toughest target as it is now. Grace waiting on a 1-2 delivery. Spun him back. 2-2.
Oh, he's batting third. Brian Jordan, who we saw just recently up in St. Louis, is leading the National League in hitting.
Here's a shot up the middle. A line drive through the box, and Grace is on with the second Cub hit. Here comes the man who got the first one that went the full distance, Henry Rodriguez.
Well, this is the only guy I know. One of the only guys I ever knew they had a candy bar for.
Yeah.
Up in Montreal.
Yeah, they had to stop the game up there. They threw so many O. Henry bars on the field. 2 out, and Rodriguez taking a Moehler pitch that's low. Two out, 1 on. Cubs have the lead, 1-0. They're batting in the 4th inning here at the corner. That one's wide. Rodriguez really never found himself at L.A. He didn't become a true big leaguer until they got him up in Montreal. Fouled away. Let's take a look at the third base coach for the Chicago Cubs, Tom Gamboa. He managed in the Tiger system. He managed the Toledo team back in 1990. Telling me they saw young Kerry Wood the first time in the instructional league, and he knew right away he was going to be a phenom. There's a pop-up off a third foul. Rookie Alvarez puts it away, and the side retired. At the end of 3 1/2, Cubs 1, Tigers without a run.
On the news immediately after the game tonight, we're going to tell you about a fellow arrested in Royal Oak for burglary. Police tell us he took along his 10-month-old child with him. Also, we'll tell you where you can go in Metro Detroit this weekend to see an exact duplicate of a Christopher Columbus ship, the Nina. And we'll be talking to Bonzi Wells, the new draft pick of the Pistons, and how he looks forward to learning a lot from Joe Dumars. Fellas?
Damian Easley leads off for Detroit. They trail 1-0 behind the Cubs. Damian's been up one time. He's bounced to third. Kerry Wood's fastball in tight.
We'd like to wish Audrey Selinsky a happy birthday. Administrative assistant, the minor league department, longtime employee of the Detroit Tigers, and our good friend.
One of the most loyal and one of the nicest that we've ever had around.
You got it.
1-1, the count on Damian. Here's a low one, breaking ball to count 2-1. Got some email we want to address here in a moment. We appreciate hearing from you folks via the email or any way you want to correspond with us. There's a fly ball at the left. It's deep, and it is long gone. A 1-1 tie in the 4th inning.
Well, that's the type of swing that you have to have off of this hard-throwing right-hander. Real quick, compact swing. And Damien probably has that type of swing better than anybody on the club. 18th home run for Damien. It's been a little bit of a slump as far as power-wise is concerned, but he has to be very pleased with this one. Fastball a little bit up in the middle of the plate. And he gets it up there and hits it in the upper deck.
Here's Bobby Higginson, who struck out to end the first inning against Kerry Wood. And Wood is high and wide with that one. 1-1 tie. The two teams have swapped home runs here at the corner. Bobby backs off, inside pitch.
Well, here was the big home run that tied the ball game in last night. And Bobby knew it was out. Hit right up there by Hal Newhouser's number 16.
Houston went out to have a little bit of a conference with his pitcher, Kerry Wood. 2-0 the count on Higgy. Fastball wide. 3-0. Wood has struck out 4. He got 3 of them in a row. He walked the first man he faced. That's his only walk. Well, he's now walked 2. Now we had an email from Al Wedge of Waterford. He said the characteristics of left-hand, right-hand batters have been addressed by you, and he says, why shouldn't they be exactly the same, even though they bat from different sides? I think he means, you know, low ball hitter.
Oh, yeah, left-hander.
Left-hander,
Left-hander usually, I don't know the reason for it. Left-hander usually low ball hitters. They generally foul the ball off their foot more. Or they have more of an uppercut swing than right-handers for some reason.
It's just a natural happening, I guess. 1 strike on Tony.
Tony has done much better this year from the right side as far as average. Last year was just the opposite.
Swings right through that one. Strike 2 the count on him.
You see the different swings. Tony has a longer swing, and he tries to muscle up, where Damien has a very short swing. And boy, you really have to guess where the ball is going to be if you're going to have a long swing.
1-1 tie. We're in the 4th inning. Tigers have a man on, nobody down. 1-2 on Tony Clark. Want to wish a happy retirement to Harriet Robbins. He is a big Tiger fan. And this was her last day at work down in Toledo, Ohio. 1-2 to Clark. The old high hard one got him. The 5th strikeout for Wood. And the K's keep it coming.
Watch the arc on his swing. Look how far it goes back and how long his swing is, and it's very hard for particularly Tony to hit the ball above his waist. Tony, a much better hitter when the ball is down near the knees from the left side.
Gonzalez fly to left his only time at bat. The one-time Cub outfielder takes a strike from Wood. One on, 1 out. 1-1 tie. 4th inning. We've got a fine turnout here tonight at the corner, and I think a very, very big walk-in turnout. Runner goes. There's a chop to short. Blauser has to go to first to Grace. Moving to second is Higginson on the bounce out. That'll bring to bat Geronimo Baroa. Another email question, one from Bob Gibson in Leslie, Michigan, and the same question from Paul Mayer, Shelby Township. wanted to know the greatest game that I have announced, and I would have to say it was the Bobby Thompson home run in October the 3rd, 1951. You've heard the great Russ Hodges radio call. I was on NBC TV that afternoon.
Well, there's not any more exciting than that game.
Oh, yeah. Of course, my biggest Tiger thrill, I think, was the 7th inning in the 7th game of the World Series in St. Louis. Moreau at the bat. He struck out the first time.
Now, Baroa has excellent power the other way. And, of course, this fastball will more than likely have most hitters hitting the ball the opposite way.
There's a strike and the count even on the big slugger. 1-1. In close, and that one gets by the catcher, Houston. Moving to third is Bobby Higginson.
This looks like a sinking fastball well inside. Now he catches the ball, but I think it would be unfair to give him a pass ball on a pitch like that. That ball almost hit Baroja. He was sitting more outside, but we have not heard whether or not it is a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Well, we'll wait for the verdict. It's a wild pitch. They've flashed it on the board, so that gets him to third base. 2 out. Baroa waiting, and there's a wide one, and they move the count to 3-1. Tigers have tied it here on the home run by easily. It's 1-1. They've got a man at third and 2 down. Trying to get that tiebreaker home. And Baroa looking at a hook that gets across. Full count. Alvarez waiting on deck. Here's the full count delivery. Struck him out, leaving a man at third. The 6th strikeout for Wood. But the Tigers have tied it at the end of 4. Chicago 1, Detroit 1.
You're watching the Detroit Tigers on UPN 50.
We'll be here at the corner for the 4th annual Negro League tribute game at Saturday at 7:05, and come out and watch the Tigers battle the Cincinnati Reds in the final home interleague match-up of the season. Prior to the game, stop by Tiger Plaza for autographs from former Negro League players and visit the museum exhibit that will be on display. The first to 5,000 fans, 14 and under, will receive a free Detroit Stars cap. For tickets, visit the Tiger Stadium box office, any ticket location, or call 248-25-TIGER. Brian Moehler pitching to the Cubs in the 5th inning. We've got a 1-1 tie here at the corner. And this is Pedro Valdez, who drew a walk his first time up. Looking for his first hit this year in the major leagues. He came up from Iowa, where he batted .328 with 15 home runs. Little chopper hit back to Moehler. The throw to Tony Clark gets him. Valdez is out. Well, Al, here's another email for you from Dickie Boy. Why does someone always throw the first baseman from the dugout a ball instead of just handing the ball to him when he sits down? I don't know that.
Well, normally a coach holds the ball, and when he comes in, he throws it to him so that he has one in his glove, and then the coach goes out and takes the first base. But I don't know why they don't hand it to him either. It just
those things just happen. Those things just happen, Dickie Boy.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, Blauser at the plate now. He struck out at the first time. He took a call, 3rd strike to end the 2nd inning. Jim from Dearborn wants to know what would it take the umpires to call strikes as a rule book defines it.
You tell me. I have no idea why the strike zone is not enforced, and it happens in both leagues.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. There's a strike call. Speaking of strikes, 1-1 the count on Blauser.
In fact, I think somebody says there that they remember you calling a high fastball for a strike.
Yeah, that's right. Fastball up in the letters used to be a strike. There's a line drive to Cruz. Yeah, many times we would say a strike across the letters.
I remember talking to Jim Palmer. Of course, you know, Jim Palmer was a high fastball pitcher, and he said he would have a hard time pitching today.
Oh, Denny McLean was another
Denny
one
was
like
the same way. He used to throw the ball by the letters, and now that is a ball. It has to be belt high or below.
Here is Tally Houston, the catcher. He's 0 for 1 for the night. Bounced to second base. And he is looking. Ball 1 on Houston. We're in the 5th inning, a 1-1 tie. Chopper foul hit over toward the Tiger dugout.
And that's one reason, Ernie, I believe, why you see hitters bat like Houston is hitting, open and then diving into the ball, because they know they don't have to hit the high fastball. When you dive into the ball, into the plate, you cannot hit a high fastball. They know they don't have to do that anymore.
Two out, nobody on. 1-1 tie, 5th inning. Ground ball to the glove side of Easley. The flip over to Clark, and it's 1-2-3 for the Cubbies. In the 5th, the Tigers bat. Last half of the 5th inning. It's still a tie, 1-1.
Okay, here's a game summary brought to you by Bell Tire. Rodriguez has won his career home run. He usually has a solo home run in the 4th, and that's all there is in this ball game. Both runs by the way of a home run, and that's the swing of Damian Easley hitting his 18th home run in the 4th inning. Very quick, short, compact swing. Look at that Detroit Tiger. Future Hall of Famer right there.
Yeah, those Tiger fans have to start early. Well, these two teams have swapped home runs. Rodriguez hit his in the 2nd with nobody on, his 17th, and then, as you just saw, Easley hit his 18th in the 4th inning. And that's where we are in the last half of the 5th. 1-1. Here is young Gabe Alvarez,
who has been red hot, Alvarez. And here's the big hit last night in the 11th inning. A line drive that was tattooed right over the left fielder's head with the bases loaded. 2 outs. So a big clutch hit. Another big hit for Alvarez.
Young man from the University of Southern California. Born in Mexico, grew up in El Monte, California, where he now lives.
First Tiger since '74 to have 2 home runs after the first 2 games. Danny Myers. Forgot all about him.
Yeah, I remember Danny went to Seattle later. One of the first Seattle players out there. There's a ball low. Alvarez, the first time at bat, struck out to end the 2nd inning. Wood delivers a low one to the count, 2-0 on Gabe. One tie. We're in the 5th here at the corner. 3-0 the count on Alvarez. He's taking. It's a strike. The totals are even. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors on each side. Walked him. That will be the 3rd walk issued by Kerry Wood. Jerry White welcomes Alvarez to first base. Wood ready to face Joe Oliver. He fanned him to start the 3rd.
is a dead fastball hitter. Why he's in the lineup, really. And you can see they're throwing him nothing but breaking balls.
One strike on Oliver. Joe's seen a lot of Cubs in his time in the National League. 2 strikes.
Mr. Wood seemed to be having better luck with his curveball and off-speed pitches more so than his fastball. He's better control.
Got him on the 3 pitches. That's number 7 in the strikeout column. He's victimized Baroa and Oliver twice. Here's Davy Cruz. He bounced to second base in the 3rd inning. Runner goes. There's a bounding ball to second. Play to second base to Blauser. The relay to first not in time. Maradini got it over to Blauser, but they couldn't complete the double play.
Well, Alvarez had to hold up. The ball was hit. He had to take so that the ball does not hit him. Had he been able to get past the ball, he would have been safe at second. They would not even attempt to go after him. Watch, he's looking at the ball, which you should do. He has to hold up, and now they get him at second base and almost turn a double play.
That'll make it 2 down with a man on and bring up the top of the Tiger batting order, Brian Hunter. Brian walked in the 1st and ended the 3rd inning by grounding to second. There's a drive hit deep to left. Going back is the left fielder Valdez to haul it in for the out. At the end of 5, Cubs 1, Tigers 1.
This is your home for Tiger baseball, UPN 50.
On a beautiful night here at the corner, this big turnout treated to a fine game so far, 1-1 at the end of 5 innings. By the way, the Tigers have placed infielder Billy Ripken on the 15-day disabled list with a back strain. That's retroactive to June the 21st. And we'll come in right back here tomorrow night. The old Cincinnati Reds come to town. That'll be the beginning of a weekend series here at the corner. We'll wrap up the National League week on UPN 50 with the Reds. The 2 teams have not seen each other since 1935. Well, that's what it says there. I think they played in the World Series, though, in 1940, didn't they? Anyway, here's Manny Alexander, who flied to right the first trip. And it's a foul ball upstairs.
We should have a pretty good crowd with Cincinnati.
I would think so. The Reds have fallen on tough times. What have they've lost 11 straight, I think. In tight on Alexander, the 3rd baseman, 1-1. He was with the Mets last year. They waived him to Chicago in midseason. Outside at 2-1 the count. Greetings to Fran Rosala from her husband Ed and son Eric. They're out here at the ballpark watching this fine action at the corner tonight. 1-1 tie. We're in the 6th inning. Fouled away. Well, Al, here's an interesting question for you. It's not signed. It's on the email.
Uh-oh, I don't like the ones
He said
that
you were a
signed.
fine hitter and made me wonder what adjustments you would make if you were a Tiger batter today. Would you have weight trained, or would you have done anything different overall if you played today?
Absolutely. I'd have been in the weights. I'd have had a trainer. These guys are so much stronger than we were, in better shape than we ever were. And yeah, absolutely, I would have loved to have been stronger.
I tell you, you need weight training to carry that money around. You would make.
Really? That's why they do it. I mean, it's not because they want to get better. They want to carry that money around in suitcases. They have to carry their telephones, their computers around in their suitcases, you know.
I took 2 to count on Manny Alexander. A little fly ball hit softly into right and into the glove of Higginson for the first out in the 6th inning. Well, in those days, Al, when you played, the baseball establishment discouraged weightlifting.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, the only thing they would encourage was maybe a little wrist movement, you know, to try to strengthen your wrist, and maybe squeezing a rubber ball to make your hands stronger. Well, absolutely, they would find you if they found out you were lifting weights.
Bob Feller was a fellow who went against the grain on that, though. He was one of the early weightlifters.
And you know, the better ball players back in the old days were the farmers, the ones that had to do the manual labor and tote that hay and all that.
They done weightlifting, but they didn't call it that.
They didn't call it that. Well, here's the weightlifter. Here's the book on Mr. Brown. He's straightaway hitter. He will jump on a fastball inside, but basically hits the ball to center field.
It sits on the ground easily at second, and it's the second out. The last 6 have gone down in order since the 2-out single in the 4th inning. Rodriguez hit a home run in the 2nd with 1 out, nobody on. Then Grace had a single with 2 out in the 4th. Those have been the Chicago runners. Plus a walk to Valdez in the 2nd inning. There's a strike called on Marandini. Been up twice. He's flied to Gonzalez each time. 1-1 tie. We're in the 6th.
Well, last night they got one inside to Marandini. He got it up in the air and hit it in the upper deck. The little guy is showing a little bit more power this year than in previous years.
That one's just off the corner.
I think you'll see him go away with a fastball here. They don't want to walk this guy with the heavy hitters coming up.
Good average against the right-hand pitchers for this guy. He fouls this one away upstairs down into the right field corner. And a good play by an upper deck outfielder here at Tiger Stadium.
That was a one-hander too.
Yep. They got some great athletes that come out here.
Rex Barney would say, give that man a contract.
Yeah.
Great announcer for the Orioles for many, many years.
2-2 pitch to Mickey Marandini. He is out for excessive window shopping. He looked at one too many. The 3rd strikeout from O, and the Tigers bat in the 6th, still tied 1-1. Rocket along at the corner. 1-1 tie, 6th inning. Damian Easley, who tied the game leading off the 4th with his 18th home run, will lead off here in the 6th. The first time up, Kerry Wood got him on a ground ball to 3rd. The only other Tiger hit is a single by Tony Clark. Each team with 2 hits, each team with 1 run. Damian looking, it's inside, ball 1. Still daylight here at 8:33. Breaking ball, 1-1. Well, the Tigers have left 2 men on. The Cubs have left 1. Wood fires high, and they count 2-1. Kerry Wood has walked 3 and struck out 7.
He's thrown a lot of pitches, even though the Tigers only have 2 hits. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Uncharacteristic of this young man so far this year.
There's a foul back and out of play, and the count 2-2. Ground ball to short. That's Blauser. To Grace. One away.
Well, it's warm enough for a beach ball. We finally see one today, and Brent, World Soccer is on TV, gave a big kick out in center field. I think that might be the first beach ball we've seen this year.
That's about the longest distance I've ever seen anybody get on one. I don't know where it came from, but it ended up in mid center field. Here's Bobby Higginson. 1-1 tie. Bobby has struck out and walked so far against this young right-hander who starts him off with a hook. It's ball one.
Bobby's way off the plate. They like to throw in slow pitches and then come hard inside.
There's a drive for a base hit. Left center field. Brown comes over to cut it off. Bob going for two. Here's the throw. He strikes. He is safe. He stretched it to another.
Well, that's the way to run the bases, hard from the very get-go. He'll teach that center fielder a little lesson. He's actually came to spring training as a first baseman, but he is playing center field, doing pretty well. But watch the first baseman, center fielder, lay back. Here's a fastball out over the plate, reaches out and punches it. He's running hard right from the get-go. Look, he's laying back, and watch, he just lobs the ball in. And look what happens. Good hustle by Bobby Higginson. That's what you like to see. That's baseball.
That's the tie-breaking run at second base, and there's a foul out of play. Out the bat of Tony Clark.
And the people here are very appreciative of that type of play.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. 1-1 tie. We're in the sixth inning. It's been a dandy here, folks. Come on out and be with us over the weekend. The Cincinnati Reds come to town. Strike one on Tony. 1-1 on Clark.
Well, they actually do Tony a very good favor when he throws a breaking ball.
Easley, Higginson, and Clark have the three Tiger hits, one apiece. Clark got the first one, a single in the second inning. Then he struck out the next time. Two-1 the count on him. The only Cub outfielder with a putout is Valdez, a left fielder. He's caught a couple of fly balls. The Tiger outfielders have handled 4. Most of the action has been via the strikeout route or either in the infield tonight. There's a foul upstairs, and the count stays 2-2 on Tony Clark. Cubs have hit somewhat of a skid. They've lost their last 4, and they've dropped 11 out of their last 15 decisions. Here's the 2-2 delivery to Tony. Chopper hit to Grace. Big hop. Race for the bag. Grace wins it. Higginson takes third. Well, Bobby got to third base in the 4th inning after the Easley home run, and he was left there. Now he's got a chance to come in and break the 1-1 tie if Gonzalez can do something. Gonzo has flied to left and the bounce to short. Been a pitcher's game so far. These two right-handers matching pitch for pitch. Wood and Moehler.
Ooh.
Higginson
Almost
down the line. Yep.
Almost balked.
Fastball outside, and there goes Houston out to talk with his pitcher.
Young man looks like he's completely wore out.
Big, strong guy from Texas. He was the Cubs' #1 draft choice. That's a tip foul for strike. 1-1. Marty Foster looks that one over as he played umpire, and he keeps it in play. In close for this one. 2-1 on Gonzalez. Another beach ball. This one floating over into right center.
Now that is a beach ball.
Yeah, they look like they're getting bigger every year.
Somebody's got a lot of hot air, because you know he had to blow it up once he got in. They won't let him carry it in like that, that's for sure.
Two on the count on Luis Gonzalez. That's Higginson at third base. 3-1 the count.
I think they'll be very careful with Gonzo. They really don't care if they walk him or not with Barojo, who has struck out both times he's faced the pitcher.
And they did walk him. That will be the 4th pass issued by Kerry Wood. And the newest of the Tigers, Geronimo Baroa, coming to bat. Baroa has been up twice, and he struck out each time. Here comes the skipper out now, Jim Riggleman. He wants to set things up with his pitcher. Baroa just obtained in that trade that we mentioned earlier from the Cleveland Indians.
Been on a disabled list not quite a while, I believe.
Yeah, he was. He had a bad foot. He played in only 20 games over there in Cleveland.
So he's not really in game form right now as far as his timing is concerned.
That's Kerry Wood, the 21-year-old pitcher.
Well, or the manager may have came out and talked to their middle infield in case the possibility of a double steal. What they want to do, throw through the second base or fake.
Well, it is Higginson at third and Gonzalez at first for Buddy Bell and company. And here's Baroa. He struck out twice in 2 trips. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 tie. We're in the 6th inning. Two starters are still in there, and they're still going strong. Wood and Moehler. Strike 2. He puts Baroa in a quick hole.
Well, it's all you've seen so far is breaking balls. He could see a fastball right now after seeing so many breaking balls, but they have fed him a lot of slow pitches. Here comes a fastball now. Looks like it's going to be high and up.
Yep, he fouled it away. They sent the runner Gonzalez. That was the same pattern they followed the last time Joe Oliver batted. Set him up with a couple of breaking balls and then threw him the high hard one. Man on first, man on third, 1-1 tie, 6th inning. 2 men out. Strike 2 to Baroa. Gonzalez goes again. There's a fly ball in the left center. Digging hard is Brown. He dives. He can't hold it. It gets past him. Higginson scores. Here comes Gonzalez. He'll score. The Tigers lead it 3-1.
get the people cheering after striking out. They got a few boo birds after taking so many strikes. But he comes through with a big base hit here. Center fielder, we mentioned that he's a first baseman by trade. But because they have maybe the best first baseman in the National League, Grace, they moved him to center field. He has great speed, dives after the ball, landed on his shoulder. I've been there, done that. Had a dislocated shoulder. Quite honestly, and it's hard for me to tell from up here, but I didn't think he had to dive for that ball. The wind was carrying it back to him.
That's the trainer, David Thomas, out there with him.
Let's see, take another look at it again. He's running after it, comes a long way. And see if he has to dive. See, he didn't have to dive after that ball. He could have caught it. It would have been a reaching out for it. But he dives and lands on his shoulder.
Oh, trainer Thomas out there with him. Riggleman, you see, number 5, the manager. Rick Reed, the umpire, overseeing the situation. Tigers have taken the lead here on the double by their newcomer, Geronimo Baroa. A 2-out double, getting Higginson and Gonzalez home. That's the assistant trainer you see there, Steve Melendez.
Well, things have not gone right for the Cubbies recently. And this young man was having a fine year for him. Leading off, getting on base, hitting over 300. Now, if there's any kind of a serious injury to him,
well, they're bringing him in now, so apparently we're going to get another outfielder here. That's Terrell Lowry in the dugout.
Well, they have Lance Johnson. I don't know whether he's on a disabled.
Yeah, he's
he's on a disabled list.
Lance is disabled.
Looked like Mischke is coming out. Number 20 is running out to right field, and it looked like Sammy Sosa will probably play center, at least my guess.
Yep, Mischke's in right, and there's Sammy moved over to center. So that's Matt Mischke, the young man from Western Michigan University, native of Midland, Michigan. He'll be batting in the number 1 spot, playing in right field for the injury to the center fielder Brown, and Sosa moves over to center. Tigers in the lead in the 6th inning, 3-1. It'll be Alvarez for the Tigers at bat now. He struck out and drawn a walk. Detroit has broken the 1-1 tie with a 2-run surge here in the 6th. 3-1, they lead it. A double, a walk, and a double, getting those 2 in. It's a low one, ball 1 on the rookie third baseman. Went across on it, 1-1 the count on Gabe. Still daylight here at 8:49 Detroit time.
Well, we get some action in the Chicago bullpen. Dave Stevens, tall right-hander.
Moreau on at second with that key hit, the double that drove in the 2. Two won the count. Tigers now have 4 hits and the Cubs have 2. That one's low and in close. 3-1 on Alvarez.
And they could very easily walk him to first base because they've had better luck against Oliver. And this kid's been hot. He may not get a good pitch to hit.
So far, what I've seen of him, Al, he seems a lot more patient than you'd expect from a guy just come up.
Well, the book on him is he sometimes doesn't see the outside pitch, a breaking ball well, but he has a quick bat, likes the ball middle of the plate in.
And he walks again. That will be the 5th walk issued by Wood. And 2 men on and 2 men out for Joe Oliver, who has struck out in each of his 2 appearances. So there's 100 pitches now for Wood. 54 of them have been strikes. Not a real great ratio. Buddy Bell's team with a 2-run lead. Oliver trying to get some more for the Tigers. He's looking at one of those curves that he's seen a lot of. Strike 1. Fly ball, hit down the left field line in the corner. Valdez running over, racing for it, and it goes foul. Two strikes, the count on Oliver. All right, this is just an ideal night. Nice and warm, great baseball weather, good turnout. Teams playing a good crisp game here.
Yep, good pitching, some excitement, base running.
Strike 2 the count. Oliver guarding the plate. Outside with the smoke, 1 and 2. Cubs got the lead on a Rodriguez home run in the first and easily tied it with a home run in the fourth. And the Tigers had picked up 2 on the double by Barroa to break the tie here in the 6th.
Wood doesn't give up very many home runs. That was only his 6th home run he's allowed this year.
Oliver waiting, and he struck him out. That will be number 8 in strikeouts for Wood, but the Tigers do damage. They pick up a couple at the end of 6. They lead the Cubs 3-1.
You're watching the Detroit Tigers on UPN 50.
Hang on now. The Tigers have the lead 3-1. We go to the 7th inning here at the corner. Brian Moehler dueling away against the rookie sensation Kerry Wood. And it'll be Sammy Sosa, the right fielder. 0 for 2 so far this evening.
Oh, look what he has done at home. He's almost been unhittable here at Tiger Stadium. And that's quite a surprise, actually. It's a small ballpark. You would think that in a bigger ballpark he would pitch better, but no, he likes that home cooking.
Well, here's Sammy up there in the home run race. And he takes a high one, 31 home runs. Here's one that's launched. It's long gone. Way up into the upper deck and right. Number 32 for Sammy Sosa. And he has broken the record set by Rudy York for the most home runs in 1 month.
And he's getting a standing ovation by fans, both Cubbies and Tiger fans alone. Sammy Sosa just having a wonderful year, just outstanding year, both with the batting average and the home runs. Take a look at this pitch right here. They wanted away. He got it pretty much on the corner. Might have been a little further in than he wanted, but look how far he hits this thing in the upper deck. I mean, that is a long way.
And that cuts the Tiger lead to 3-2. Breaks that long-time Rudy York record that had stood since 1937. Mark Grace at the plate. He struck out another single against Moehler. Now Sammy takes a curtain call over there at the dugout.
Okay, we're going to maybe get a look at Matt Anderson, who was just brought up from Jacksonville, and Sean Runyon are warming up in the bullpen. Buddy Bell said he would like to get Anderson into this ball game tonight for 1 inning.
There's a strike. One and one the count on Grace. 3-2 Tiger lead after the home run by Sosa. There's a drive to right. Higginson on the run, won't get it. Clears it on one hop. Grace going for two. Bobby fires to second. Not in time. It's a two-bagger for Grace. Well, the Cubs trying to come back now after the Tigers took the lead. They've got the tying run at second base.
Yeah, Brian might be getting a little bit tired. He threw a high breaking ball there. His pitches have been down and out over the plate. Might be getting a little bit tired.
Oliver's coming out to the mound to talk with Moehler. Moehler's been touched for 4 hits, 2 of them in this inning. And the 2 runs have scored on home runs, Rodriguez and Sosa. And Rodriguez will be the batter. Here comes Buddy Bell.
Well, we'll see what he makes the choice, whether he wants to bring in the youngster that just brought up, Matt Anderson. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come up because he has a better chance, I believe, of striking out the hitter than the left-hander, but that's a decision that Buddy Bell will make. He's going to go with the left-hander. Sean Runyon, who has been really the workhorse of this ball club. Okay, we have a pitching change, and we'll be right back. Okay, a great performance by Brian Moehler. Looked like he might have gotten a little tired. He threw 82 pitches, 48 were for strikes. Very hot, humid night here at the ballpark. Started getting his pitches up. That's usually a indication that the legs are getting tired and not able to come through with the pitches. So Brian Moehler, excellent job. Sean Runyon now takes over. He's tied for the lead in appearances coming into this game, 42. This will be his 43rd appearance already in this season.
And it'll be Henry Rodriguez to face him with a man at second, nobody down. The Tigers in the lead, 3-2 7th inning. Outside, ball 1 on Rodriguez.
And probably what they will try to do is pitch him away so he can't pull the ball. Hopefully that he get a ground ball to short or third, or maybe a short fly ball to left field.
That one's wide, and the count goes 2-0. Ball 3, the count now on Henry Rodriguez.
Well, here's the book on it. Actually, I probably made a mistake. He's pretty much a pull hitter. He doesn't hit the real good fastball well.
and Rodriguez gets a base on balls. Runyon walks the first man he faces. That'll put 2 on with nobody down.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see Matt Anderson, I believe. I think we're going to have a right-handed pinch hitter coming up. Hernandez looks like he's coming up. He's the one that was in the lineup at third base, and because of a stiff neck, got canceled right at game time. He has not been announced yet, but as soon as he does, I think you will see Mr. Matt Anderson making his first major league appearance for the Tigers.
There's Anderson still in the bullpen. On the dugout steps is Buddy Bell. He's talking to Adair, and that's going to be the move, Al.
Okay, Matt Anderson's on his way. Stay tuned. 95, 97 miles an hour. See what he's got. But we'll be right back after this message. Well, here he is, the #1 draft pick by the Tigers in the 1997 June draft. And he has just rolled right through Lakeland and Jacksonville. With Lakeland, he appeared in 17 games, had 3 saves, 34 strikeouts in 26 innings, moved up to double-A ball, 0.60 earned run average in 13 games. He had 10 saves, and he had 11 strikeouts. So he has to be a little bit nervous making the big jump. But when he's throwing right, 95, 97 miles an hour with a fair breaking ball, but that's something he's going to have to learn in the near future. But right now, what they're looking for is a strikeout, probably a sacrifice maybe in order here. I don't know what kind of a fielder he is, but pretty tough to bunt a 95, 97 mile an hour fastball.
And the veteran Jose Hernandez will be used as a pinch hitter now for Valdez. Hernandez hitting .271. And the rookie right-hander Anderson makes his debut. Here's his first major league pitch. It's a high outside fastball. Well, generally, we're used to see young pitchers come in and make their debut when the game's not on the line. But it's entirely different for this young man. He's in a rough spot right here. Tigers lead 3-2, 2 men on, and nobody out. Ball 2, the count on Jose Hernandez.
Well, this might have been the what the manager of the Cubs, Riggleman, wanted to bring the rookie in, knowing that he would be nervous. He has, even though he hasn't shown much wildness in the minor leagues, but this is all together when you have 30-some thousand people in the stands.
There's a strike to make the count 2-1. Anderson, 21 years old, the #1 overall draft selection in June '97. Two on the count on the pinch hitter. There's a bunt. Pitcher Addison fields it. There's a throw a little bit wide, but easily keeps his foot on the bag. The sacrifice moves him to second and third. Grace to third and Rodriguez to second.
Well, you heard he just throw and almost threw it into the bullpen in right field. Got the ball down first base. Not a good bunt, but you see he had plenty of time to throw it, but he got rid of it too soon. But fortunately, Damian was able to catch the ball and tag the bag. He had plenty of time. A lot of things are going through your mind right now, your first time in the big leagues.
Here's Jeff Blauser, the Cubs shortstop at the bat. He's 0 for 2 against Moehler. He took a call third strike in the second. He lined his shortstop in the fifth. Ball 1 the count on Blauser. Tigers lead it by 1 at 3-2, but the Cubs have a threat. 7th inning. Anderson trying to hold him off in his debut. High fly ball, not
I think the
too
wind's
deep.
going to get it.
Higginson under it waiting. Here's the tag. Here's the throw to the plate. And the game is tied. The sacrifice fly. Sending Grace home. It's 3-3.
Yeah, it wasn't a long fly ball to begin with, but we would mention how the wind is blowing to right field. And it got up there and carried another 10-15 feet further than it looked like it was going to go. I still don't know what Henry Rodriguez is doing on at second base. You know, they had to try to get the runner at home if they could.
He's still out there, and he represents the tie-breaking run. Here's Tyler Houston, the catcher, who's 0 for 2 against the Moehler with a couple of bounce outs to Easley. And he's baffled by the rookie's fastball, strike one. Boy, everybody loves a pitcher who throws hard and a hitter who hits the ball a mile. And we've got a lot of that in this game tonight. 3-3 tie, 7th inning. There's a pop-up foul near the seats. Here comes Alvarez, but it'll be out of play. Strike 2 the count. Anderson, big, tall, rookie right-hander, trying to get this final out now in the 7th and keep the game deadlocked at 3. Fouled away. Back upstairs. They started Anderson at Lakeland, and then they moved him up to Jacksonville. Pitched a total of 30 games. One and 2 the count. That's Rodriguez at second. Represents the tie-breaking run. Two on Tyler Houston.
That was his breaking ball there. Not a very good one. Just wanted to show a hitter something else.
Totals are even. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for each team. 2-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit to right. Rodriguez coming around third. He's held up. Here's the throw cut off by Clark. Runners at the corners.
Well, that's why I say why Rodriguez wasn't in third base. That would have been a run, but right there, that ball hit directly at Bobby Higginson, and they know not to run on Bobby. You can see the third base coach holding him up right there. No shot. That ball would have had him dead to right on line.
Bobby Rick Adair out to the mound, and we got a pinch runner at first base. That's Scott Service running for Houston. Oh, he'll probably come in and do the catching.
I think the pitching coach Adair is just coming out to settle his young pitcher down. He's looked like he's trying to overthrow. I haven't seen that much of him to really tell, but sometimes when you overthrow, you don't throw the ball nearly as hard as when you relax and just let it go.
Well, the youngster now will face Manny Alexander, who has been up twice. He's flied each time to Higginson and right. We've got a 3-3 tie. The Cubs threatening to break it in the 7th with 2 out and runners at the corners. Manny looking at the ball.
Moehler is warming up in the bullpen for the Tigers.
That's ball 2, 2-0 the count on him. Well, Moehler started this inning on the mound. It was touched by a home run from Sammy Sosa. Then a double by Grace. They brought in Runyon to pitch to Rodriguez. He walked him. And Anderson is pitched to the next 3 batters. And now the 4th one that he's faced. 2-0 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Alvarez fires to Clark, and it stays a 3-3 tie. Tigers bat in the 7th. Deadlock 3-3.
Okay, here's another game's summary. Sosa, a new major league record in the month of June, 18 home runs. Moehler pitched well. Bobby Higginson hits a ball that looked like it's going to be a base hit, but look at the hustle by the tough kid from Philadelphia. He keeps on going, and he beats the throw by Brown in center field. Baroja gets a breaking ball that he likes this time, hits it out in left center field. Brown reaches for it, dives, misses the ball, injures himself. 2 runs scored, and Sammy Sosa, record-breaking home run deep, I mean deep, in right field, upper deck. Well, we have a new pitcher, Kerry Adams, the hard-throwing right-hander. 46 innings, 37 hits. He's walked 20. 2-9 with the Cubs last year.
And we've got a new catcher service and a couple other changes too, I believe. Here's Cruz taking, and it's ball high.
Okay, Mischke has moved to left field. Center is Hernandez, who pinched it. Sosa moves back to right field.
There's a foul off the bat of Cruz.
As Ernie mentioned, Service is behind the plate.
3-3 tie. It's a dandy, folks, here at the corner. Davy Cruz at the bat against the new pitcher, Adams. A native of Mobile, Alabama, 25 years old, and delivers it low. 3-1. He came up through the Cubs system. He was their number 4 draft choice in June of '91, and has had 2 full seasons with him. There's a strike. Cruz to try to get it started off the new pitcher, Terry Adams. Adams had surgery on his right shoulder several years ago. Fouled away. That'll keep it 3-2. Davey pops one foul. This will be out of play.
Davey's been one of the better hitters in the American League with 2 strikes on him. Cuts the swing down, tries just to put the ball in play.
Three-two pitch. He walked in to start it off. That puts the potential tiebreaker at first base for Detroit. Jim Riggleman watching his Chargers out there. His starting pitcher, Kerry Wood, leaves the game with it tied, so he can't be the winner or the loser. And neither can Moehler, or the Tiger starter. Brian Hunter at the bat. Brian without a hit. He walked to start the first inning, and then he bounced to second and flied to left.
Well, the fake to first base was to try to see what Brian Hunter was going to do, whether or not he was going to sacrifice. Brian made no indication what he was going to do, but I would certainly think the sacrifice is in order here. And then there'll be a good sacrifice. Should be down the first base line.
That's ruled a strike. They check with the first base umpire, Tim Sheeta. He said, yep, it was bunted at. It'll be a strike. Well, we're going to get it straightened out now.
I think Brian's a little upset that they called that a strike. He thought he brought the bat back, but anytime you sort of push at the ball, they will usually call that a strike. Brian is really surprising for a leadoff hitter, not a very good bunter.
Man on, nobody down, 3-3 tie, 7th inning. That evens the count on Brian Hunter at 1-1.
Well, you have everybody moving, and if you can guess right, you may be able to drive the ball by the infield, but you don't want to pop the ball in the air. If he does swing away, you want the ball to be on the ground because everybody's moving.
The starters, Kerry Wood, his record is complete. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs and 4 hits, walked 5, and struck out 8. Hit and run. There's a ground ball. The Blouser, the shortstop, has to go to first. Throw a little bit high, but Grace reaches and grabs it, and they get the Cruz to second on the grounder.
Well, they got the job done. It wasn't a bunt, swinging bunt, but they got the man down the second, and that is the go-ahead run at second base.
Now they
fakes a bunt, pulls it back. If he pulls that ball just a little bit in the hole at shortstop, that is a base hit. There goes Davey. A swing and bunt and run, and almost beats it out at first base.
Well, here's the Tiger who provided the first run for them in the 4th inning easily of the home run. He's 1 for 3. He's bounced to short twice, and he looks at a pitch from Adams for a strike. Three runs, 5 hits for the Cubs. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Service grabs that one in the dirt, and the count 1-1 on Damian.
Well, the leading hitter with men in scoring position, and we have that situation right now. Damian's been hitting the ball much better the last 3 days. Boy, Damian must have great eyesight. He saw that kid running down 2 steps inside the foul line in right field. Man, you would think he'd be concentrating on that ball out on the mound more so than the ball down the right field line.
1-1 the count on him. 2 balls and a strike.
Terry Moehler, the left-hander, is in the Chicago bullpen.
2-1. That's the count on Damien, trying to get that tiebreaker home from second. Ball 3, 3-1. On the line this game in the 7th, 3-3. He walked him. 2 walks in this inning for the Tigers. Setting the table for Bobby Higginson. Here comes the skipper Riggleman out. We're going to get Mulholland.
Talking to Phil Riggin, their pitching coach, he's really upset. He thought their pitching staff was going to hold up all year long, but during this slump they have allowed a lot of runs. So they call for another left-hander, Terry Mulholland. But in the meantime, let's go to a commercial break and we'll be right back. Okay, Buddy Bell hoping that his team can push across another run here as we are in the 7th inning and score 3-3. 2 men on. Terry Mulholland is the new pitcher for the Cubbies. The veteran has been around a long time. He first started playing back in 1984. Last year he was with San Francisco and also the Cubs. The year before that, Seattle and Philadelphia. So well-traveled Terry Mulholland.
35 years old, this veteran, and that little trip to Seattle was the only time they had him out of the National League. He's been a National Leaguer most all of his career. Bobby Higginson to face him. 2 men on, 1 man down. It's a wide one from the left-hand reliever. Higginson had a key hit in the 6th inning. He doubled with a 1 out and started the 2-run surge that at that point broke a tie. Oh, Cruz and Easley on the bases. Ground ball.
Look out.
Foul very hard down past first base coach Jerry White.
Well, that's a tough assignment over there at first base. You've got to watch the first baseman and inform the base runner if he's going to try a pickoff, and you have your back to the hitter. Then all of a sudden you try to pick it up very quickly. That ball was hit like a shot.
1-1. They count on Higgy. Game tied 3-3. 1 man down, 2 men on. Each manager has used 3 pitchers. Two and 1 the count on Higginson. Mulholland, a native of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Delivers in too close. 3-1 the count on Higginson.
Bobby Higginson, one of the better hitters in the late inning pressure situations. Bobby Smith, Tampa Bay, that's a surprise. David Segui doing very well.
The rookie Grieve in that list. 3-1 the count. Fouled away. What does he look for, Al, now on 3-2 with 1 out?
Well, you got to look for fastball because they don't want to walk and move the go-ahead run to third base with only 1 out. So he's going to go with the pitch that he gets over the best, and he's thrown nothing but fastballs. So I think he's got to stay with that pitch.
2 men on, 1 man down. Game tied 3-3, 7th inning. Here's that 3-2 delivery. Ground ball hit towards second. Merndini to Blauser. There's 1. That's all they'll get. The Tigers end up with runners at the corners and 2 out after the 4th.
He threw a little slider, a little cut fastball away from Bobby. He was just a little out in front and pulled it in the hole.
That leaves it up to Tony Clark. Tony with a single, a strikeout, and they bounce to first as a left-hand batter.
Well, they're giving Tony a big gap in right center. Sammy Sosa is now moving towards that way, but still a big gap over in right center field. Where Tony hits a lot of balls right-handed.
There's a strike. He nipped off the inside corner on Tony Clark. Wood, Adams, and Mulholland. That's been the pitching for the Cubs. The Tigers have used Moehler, Runyon, and Anderson, the rookie. In close, and the count 1-1 on Clark.
Pass ball wouldn't look too bad right now.
There's Tony against left-hand pitchers. Waits on a 1-1 delivery. Fly ball, deep center. Hernandez going way back, and it is long gone.
I mean, that is long gone. Whoa, baby. That's what the people want to see. Look at them standing and cheering. Big Tony goes straight away center field over the 440 mark. Standing ovation for the big man. All right, Tony. Big hit.
6-3 Tigers.
Well, they want to try to get it inside. Didn't get it in quite as much. Tony thought he hit it hard, but the wind, I'm sure, helped us a little bit. But look how far the center fielder has to run. The biggest center field in baseball right here, up and out over the plate, and that's a no-no with the big man who is 6'7". People are trying to get him to come out. All right, Tony.
Well, that's the second curtain call of the night. Sosa had one, and now Tony's got one. Here's Gonzalez. Ball one, the count on Gonzo. Tigers lead it 6-3. That's a strike, 1-1. One ball, two strikes on Luis. It's even 2-2 on Gonzalez. Well, a couple of bases on balls put the runners on here in the seventh. And then Clark brought them home. Ground ball back towards second. Marandini over to Grace, and the Tigers are out, but they've got the lead at the end of 7. Detroit 6, Chicago 3.
This is UPN 50, the home of Tiger baseball.
Well, mark Saturday night on your calendar, a special rebroadcast of the Stanley Celebration only on UPN 50. We've had so many calls and emails about it. If people want to see the extra special show one more time, and we've decided to televise it again. That's on Saturday night. You can watch Yzerman, Osgood, Fedorov, Shanahan, Scotty Bowman, and all the players celebrate the Stanley Cup Championship for the second year in a row. 7:30 on UPN 50, your home for Red Wing hockey. Matt Mischke leading it off for Chicago. He looks at a strike from a new pitcher, Doug Bachler. Doug will be pitcher number 4 used by Buddy Bell tonight. There's a high foul, maybe in play. Tony Clark chasing near the seats. And he gloves it, and Mischke is out.
Well, it's always big to get that first out of an inning. Bachler would like to keep the string going. He has surrendered only 1 earned run in his last 15 appearances. Been pitching very well. He said his control has been exceptional during this streak.
Mickey Marandini at the bat now. He was 0 for 3 against the starting pitcher Brian Moehler. And he looks at a strike. Tigers in the lead, 6-3 in the 8th. There's a drive hit deep to right, and that one is long gone upstairs. A home run by Morandini to cut the Tiger lead to 6-4.
Well, we mentioned Morandini's been hitting with a little bit more power, and he knows Bachler. He guesses right on a straight changeup. It wasn't a good straight changeup in the strike zone, and all you had to do is lift it up in the air in right field, let that wind take it. Here's the pitch. He guesses right. Ball's about waist high.
Sammy Sosa looking, strike one called. He homered his last time at bat, leading off the 7th inning. His 32nd home run of the year for Sammy. His 19th this month to set a new record for the most home runs in a month in Major League history.
Todd Jones starting to throw in the Tiger bullpen.
Bachler.
Stevens is up in Chicago.
Bachler's gone to a 2-1 count now against Sosa. Here's Jonesy. Fouled away by Sammy Sosa. 2-2.
Well, Sammy Sosa has really improved his hitting. He likes the ball middle of the plate, hitting the ball more to right field than he ever was. He's moved off the plate since I've seen him last, but he's been doing extremely well. He used to pull off the ball and pull the ball all the time.
2-2 pitch to Sosa. In close. Sammy says he's become a much more patient hitter than he used to be. And working with Jeff Pentland, the Cub batting coach. 3-2 the count. High fly. That's a major league pop-up, folks. Back is short. Cruz is waiting. It's got to come down sometime, and it does.
That was a major league pop-up. That would have hit the Astrodome's roof, I believe.
I think it would have hit anything. So they're 2 down, and Mark Grace will be the batter. Grace has struck out, singled, and doubled. He has 2 for 3 for the night. Tigers lead at 6-4 in the 8th. Outside on the mark, ball 1.
Well, they were able to shut this guy down last night, but he is just an outstanding hitter. You knew he was going to get his base hits sooner or later.
He takes ball 2.
He's a straightaway hitter. He's a real team hitter. In other words, if you need somebody to pull the ball or go for the long ball, he can do that, but they like to keep the ball away from him, let him go to left field.
High pop foul. That'll maybe reach the seats. Here comes Oliver. Here comes Alvarez. Yep, it's about a row or 2 in.
Well, if the photographer thing wasn't there, he might have been able to make the play because he went into the second row.
Bachler trying to get the 3rd out here in the 8th inning. Pitching 2-1 to Grace. Strike. He hit the corner. Ground foul. It's sharply down past first base. Still a 2-2 count on the Cub first sacker. Three-two. Tags on top, 6-4. Base is empty, 2 out for the Cubs in the 8th. 3-2 pitch. He got him, struck him out. Tigers bat in the 8th. They still lead it, 6-4. Well, our tradition of Friday night baseball continues tomorrow. We wrap up National League Week on UPN 50 with the Cincinnati Reds. These two teams who haven't seen each other since 1939. Join Al and me and all the UPN 50 baseball crew right back here at the corner for the Tigers and the Reds, live at 7 on your station for Tiger Baseball, UPN 50.
And the new pitcher is Dave Stevens, who has contract was purchased on June the 20th. He was at Iowa, the AAA franchise for Chicago.
He's the 4th pitcher that Jim Riggleman has used tonight. And he's got a 1-1 count on Baroa, who hit a key hit in the 6th inning, a 2-run double. That broke the tie at that point in the game. There's a strike on Geronimo. He struck out the first 2 times and then came up with that clutch hit. Stevens is down in the way with this one, 2-2. Tigers lead 6-4 over the Cubs in the 8th. Ground ball up the middle. It'll be a hit. Baroa gets his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, he's not in his best form right now. I'm sure he'll be out here tomorrow taking extra batting practice. He has not played a lot because he's been on a disabled list, but he is a good offensive player. Leads off here in the 8th inning.
And Baroa will come out now in favor of a pinch runner, Barty. Camaro will come in to run for him. So the new guys are doing pretty well for the Tigers. Anderson came in, pitched a good strong inning in relief. Baroa got a key hit, got another base hit.
Well, it seems like the people that we bring in new have really done the job. Of course, Alvarez is up there now, and what he has done. Barty, the pinch runner.
Alvarez, the youngster tonight, has struck out and walked a couple of times. He's 0 for 1 officially. 6-4, the Tigers on top, 8th inning, trying to add to that advantage against the reliever Dave Stevens. Well, there have been some big hits in this game, none bigger than the one Tony Clark hit last inning. A 3-run homer to break the tie and put the Tigers on top. Ball 1 on Alvarez. That's Barty, the pinch runner at first base, trying to establish a lead. That's a strike. 1-1 on Alvarez.
Alvarez has decent power to right center field, and it looks like they are trying to pitch him away.
Another big gap out in right center. 1-1 pitch. Pitch out. Barty's not moving. 2-1. Always a guessing game.
Yep. Pretty good chance he will be here, though, because you don't expect anybody to pitch out 2 times in a row and go 3-1 if they are mistaken.
Tigers lead it 6-4. They are batting in the 8th inning with the man on and the man out and nobody out. Barty goes. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. He is out at second base. John Sherlock says that he got the tag on him.
Mr. Enthusiasm. Look at the out call here at second base. He could very well have been out. Well, you don't know if he looks like he tags him around the waist. Got him on the hip, but did he get his hand in?
Yeah, you couldn't tell where the hand was. So there's one down and nobody on now. A 3-2 count on Alvarez. Game looks and he struck him out. That's 2 down for the Tigers. Nobody out in the 8th. Joe Oliver steps up. Joe struck out 3 times in 3 trips. That was all against the hard throwing rookie starter Kerry Wood. Ball 1. The count on Joe. Tigers have 6 runs, 6 hits. The Cubs have 4 runs and 6 hits. No errors in the game. We're in the 8th inning. Fouled away. Another foul, this one toward right. 2-2 the count on Oliver. Tigers have home runs tonight from Easley and Clark. The Cubs from Henry Rodriguez, Sosa, and Morandini. There's a high hopper that'll rule foul ball back at third base.
Alexander wasn't taking any chances. He threw the ball over the first base anyhow, and that's exactly what you should do.
Now the count's gone 2-2 on Joe Oliver with 2 down and nobody on in the 8th. Cubs started Wood, then Adams in the 7th, Mulholland in the 7th, Stevens here in the 8th. Full count. Fouled away. That's a hard smash in the seats behind the visitors' dugout. Strikes out for the 4th time. Hang on. Here comes the 9th inning. The Tigers lead the Cubs 6-4.
This is your home for Tiger baseball. UPN 50.
Well, here we go. The top of the 9th inning. Tigers have a 2-run lead. Todd Jones is the new pitcher for the Tigers. Todd has been roughed up a little bit of late, getting a chance to try to close out this ball game. The scheduled hitters for the Cubbies: Rodriguez, Hernandez, and Blauser. The 5th, 6th, and 7th place hitters for the Cubbies.
Well, it's been a good one so far. You never know what happens, but it's been a delightful game before a big crowd here at the corner tonight. The Tigers maintaining a 2-run lead, and it's up to Mr. Jones to see if he can hold them off. Rodriguez got the Cubs their first run with a home run, his 17th in the 2nd inning. He's fouled at 3rd and walked. And he takes a strike from Todd. Breaking ball makes it 1-1. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Henry Rodriguez.
Well, you see the difference in Todd Jones' delivery, and then you look at Matt Anderson. Matt Anderson comes with you with everything. Jonesy has that little easy flick of the wrist and gets the ball up there pretty quickly.
Moehler, Runyon, Anderson, Bachler have preceded Jones on the mound. That one's ruled a ball. 2-2. Cincinnati comes to town tomorrow night for a weekend series. Interleague play continues. We'll be right back for that one.
Well, he didn't swing. I thought the umpire made a good decision down at 3rd base.
So the count 2-2 now. Fouls it away. Tomorrow night it'll be Frank Castillo back in the starting rotation against Pete Harnish of the Reds.
But Todd would like to get this fastball about belt high on the inside part of the plate.
High foul. That will reach the seats back at 3rd. 2-2 the count. The 4 RBIs for the Cubs have been picked up by 4 different batters: Morandini, Sosa, Rodriguez, and Blauser. Rodriguez leading off here of the night. And the count goes full on him. Let's go back to David Scott.
Straight ahead tonight on your UPN 50 10 o'clock news. Is there dangerous bacteria in local public kiddie pools? Tonight we're going to show you what's being done to protect your kids right after the ball game.
Ground ball hit wide at 1st. Tony Clark tosses to Jones, who makes the out. Rodriguez retired, 1 down. Jose Hernandez, who was listed as a starting 3rd baseman, then was scratched because he had a stiff neck. Later was inserted into the outfield. He'll be the batter. He came up as a pinch hitter and sacrifice in the 7th. Ball 1, the count on him. Base hit. Hernandez on with a right field single. That will be the 7th hit for the Cubs. And it will bring to the plate the potential tying run, the Blauser. Jeff is struck out, line to short. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly to right.
Jeff pretty much a pull hitter. They like to try to pitch him sliders away. He will hit and run. I don't think they'll hit and run in this situation, but Todd Jones doesn't throw a slider, so I would imagine he'll try to go away with fastballs.
One on, one out.
Curveball here.
Ball 1 the count on the veteran infielder Blauser. Tigers trying to hold on. They've got a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. There's a wide one. It gets off the glove of Oliver. And Hernandez takes second.
Well, that's not good. That'd be a wild pitch. I'm betting.
Well, here comes the manager, Buddy Bell.
Todd lately hasn't done anything very easy when he's been called upon.
Well, he's going to ride the rapids with the incumbent. We still haven't heard, Al, whether that's a wild pitch or not. I presume it is. Let's put it down as a wild pitch. Anyway, there's a man on second. And a 2-0 count on the Blauser. Now it's 3-0 on Jeff. Strike, 3-1. 9th inning, Tigers lead at 6-4. Last night, the Tigers tied it in the 9th. There's a strike. Full count on Jeff Blauser. Fly ball to right. Higginson is there. No advance on the part of the runner, Hernandez. 2 down, 1 to go. It'll be a Tiger victory.
This is Martinez is going to pinch hit. Sandy Martinez, a .269 hitter, no home runs, and has driven in 7 runs.
Batting for the catcher service. 2 out, 1 on, and he looks at a strike. Jones trying to get that final out, preserve the win. 1-1 on Sandy Martinez. Young man from the Dominican. One-time Blue Jay waiting at the plate. Swings and fouls it away. 1-2 on Martinez. Well, this big crowd is going to get on its feet now in a minute, yelling for that final strike. Tigers lead it 6-4, 2 down in the 9th. the curve. 2-2 on the pinch hitter.
All the outfield's deep. They're playing 5-10 feet deeper than normal just to. There's a base hit. Try to keep the ball in front of them so it doesn't get over their head or in the gap.
Tying run at the plate for the Cubs. Fouled away. Still hanging in there. Ground ball foul. Hit sharply past first base. Still a 2-2 count. Win the series. They win both games from the National Leaguers from Chicago. Great game here tonight. And the final score, Detroit 6 and Chicago 4. We'll be back.
Tiger Baseball on UPN 50 brought to you by Michelob. Smooth, rich tasting Michelob. Beer or Michelob. Del Tire. For price, service, selection, and location, nobody comes close. Now more than ever, nobody's closer. And by Little Caesars. Little Caesars Big Pizza dwarfs the competition. You're watching the Detroit Tigers on UPN 50.
Well, Al Kaline, a lot of heroes for the Tigers and a fine victory before a big crowd here, and they sweep the series with Chicago.
It was a great win for the Tigers. The new players the Tigers have purchased or brought up. Broha got a big hit to drive in a couple of runs. Of course, the mammoth home run by Tony Clark in straightaway center field. I think Matt Anderson was a winning pitcher in his debut in the major league. So a lot of good things are happening here at Tiger Stadium. So come on down and watch it. We play Cincinnati next, so a lot of good things are happening.
Yeah, the Reds will be in for the series. It'll be a 3-game set here at the Carter, and we'll see you out here for that. Right now, let's go to the 10 o'clock news.